Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, and today I'm going to show you how to make some really fun backgrounds using stamps and stencils. I got this idea from Judy of Judykins, a fabulous rubber stamp store, and I bought some of these stencils from her booth. I probably showed you that already in my haul video, and also I showed you a demonstration with Judy using these. And I wanted to give it a try, and she is so sweet. She said, you know what, give this a try, make a video if you want, and just run with the idea, because, you know, everyone builds on ideas, and that's how we learn. And I just had to make a note about that, because a lot of people will guard their ideas, and they don't want anybody to try it after they've shown them, which I think is ridiculous. Anything you see in my videos, too, absolutely go run with it, because that's why I'm sharing it. If I post it on my blog, or I do a video about it, it's because I want you to copy it, steal it, go ahead. That's why I'm posting it. So anyway, I did this background here using this this stencil. Let me hold it against something dark so you can see here. Hold it against the package. It's kind of like an Asian offset scallop. And then I did this background with this kind of tile-y stamp. These are all kite stencils available at Judykins. And then this I just did by off-stamping my rubber stamps when I was done, because some of the ink stays on the stamp, the ink that touched the plastic part. So you end up with some really cool backgrounds that way too. So here, let's just get going with this technique. I'm going to try a different stencil. I'm going to try this swirly one. And what I'm going to do is just grab a piece of cardstock here. And I think I'm going to tape it down just because I don't want it to get, it to move around. I didn't do that with the other ones, but I'm afraid when I'm doing this video, I'm going to, like, you know, completely forget and have it, have it moving around on me. So I'm just going to, actually, I'll tape it down in the corner here where it's underneath the stencil, and I'll do one more taping on top so it stays put. This is riveting, isn't it, folks? Alright, oops, that's double-sided tape sticking to my fingers. I'm going to stick to all the stamps that I use. Alright, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is just grab some stamps. Here I've got this big Impression Obsession background that I just got. I'm inking it up with some Distress ink, but any dye-based ink will work. Actually, I'm sure any pigment ink would work too. And I'm just going to really make sure. You got to press really hard, and actually clear stamps would work really well for this, because you really have, anything with some squish is going to be good to get in between the stencil area. Let me just zoom in a little bit. I think that might help. Ooh, other way. There we go. Alright, then I think I'll use this and some of these, some of this Memento kind of fuchsia color. It's actually called Lilac Posies. The nice thing about these little ink pads is that they don't take up very much space, and you can ink any size stamp you want with them. And I am just going to stamp that a couple times, maybe do that again. I really like this design. This is a Tim Holtz stamp. I got it on clearance at Michael's when I was on my big stamp trip. And I think, oh, I'm going to use this. This I got from Looney Stamps, L-U-N-I. I did a couple of their grab bags. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for a grab bag. I think it's because the anticipation of what you might get, I'm always a sucker for that. I love grab bags. I think the fun is in wondering what you're going to get, and usually not so much in what you end up with, but I did end up with some really cute background stamps, so, and she tells you at least what kind of stamps are in there, which is really fun, and a lot of places don't do that, so grab bags are fun. And I'm just using this checkered, also from that same Tim Holtz set that I got on clearance. Throw a little bit of that in there. One more time. Alright, so now it's kind of, we got these weird textures going on. And what Judy showed me was to take a color duster and just kind of brush the ink off your stencil onto your paper. So this does two things. It cleans your stencil, which is awesome, because who likes to hang around and clean stencils? And it also fills in where your stamp didn't reach, because it was, you know, really close to the stencil, so you couldn't press the stamp hard enough. Alright, so now when I remove the stencil, I've got this really cool swirly background. Now if that white's too stark for you, check this out. I'm going to turn this sideways so that you can see a little better. And what I'm going to do is take my ink pads here, and I'm going to just make a few puddles of color to work with. And I know they're going to match and look great, because that's what I've been stamping with. I can even do that with my Distress pad there. And then I'm simply going to brush some of that color in. Isn't that pretty? And it's cleaning it right off my mat too, so I don't even have to worry about that. And I could go over the whole thing if I wanted to have a little bit of color in that background. But I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then the last thing I want to do is to actually put a text stamp over it. I've had this for years. I got it at a yard sale. It's just a big text stamp that has the words thinking of you and nice things like that on there. I love a kind of a script background that you can't really read that well because, oh, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the stamp down because it just goes with everything. And I'm actually going to lay my paper on top. And even if I didn't get it inked up all right, that's fine because I don't care if it's hit or miss. Now that is what I ended up with for a background. Isn't that fun? And here are the other two that I made with different stencils. It'll work with any stencil as long as they have big enough holes that you can get a stamped image through. Now, so I told you I'd show you another thing to do. So let me just grab a, I actually ran out of just plain paper, so I'm grabbing a piece of photo paper. You can use that in lieu of glossy paper in a lot of instances. So here I've got the big cover card Impression Obsession stamp, and I'm going to, I haven't cleaned it. This is just how it came after I stamped it on the stencil. So you'll see some of that pattern from the stencil on there. So isn't that fun? So you see slightly a bit of that swirl on there. And now I'm going to grab these stamps, and I haven't cleaned them. Now I probably will add a little bit more ink to those, but even if I don't, it's just got a really fun look, and I can build up the background here however I like. It's kind of sticking because it's glossy paper. But the nice thing about the photo paper, and I had a bunch of this left over when my 4x6 slot on my printer broke, is that it shows up really bright. It doesn't fade out like a lot of paper does. Like a lot of glossy paper, if you buy just like chrome coat, which is great for certain stamping techniques, and you have to have it for certain techniques, but it, like, as your ink dries, it gets faded. I don't know, maybe because it absorbs into the paper or whatnot, but the glossy paper, the ink stays really vivid, and you know, because it's designed that way, it's designed to be really vivid for inkjet printers. Now I actually like that with a little bit of a haze over it, so I'm just going over the whole thing. And I think I want to add a little more stamping, and see, you can just kind of add as you go, and since my cover card stamp wasn't quite long enough to go over the whole thing, I can go ahead and stamp out a little bit more to the edges. And I'm just going to have some really fun backgrounds to play with. Isn't that great? Well, that's about it for today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up if you like it. I appreciate it. And subscribe, and you won't miss any other videos. I'll be doing a lot of just more like little quick videos like this throughout the summer because that's all I have time to do. I want to thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.